If you are new here, something you will quickly learn is that this channel is driven by the unknown, whether that's me picking up a new power tool or moving to Joshua Tree and telling your subscribers right now, just like this. You hungry? Want some food? I'm really excited and super grateful to be able to partner up with Volkswagen and kick off this mini makeover series that I have been thinking about doing for quite some time. It's not going to be focused on builds, but it's going to allow me to tap into my design and my decor a little more. I took the new VW Atlas Cross Sport into town to not only learn my new city, but to also start to find those hidden thrift store gems. Today we are shopping for project number 1 of this makeover series, which is Modern Build's bus. He renovated a bus into a tiny house, and I'm going to be starting towards the back of the bus, which is the bedroom. I am getting a little antsy and want to dive into the bus, so let's get started. For those of you that may not have Instagram, or maybe you haven't caught up with me in a minute over there, I am house sitting for Mike from the channel Modern Builds. If you do not know his channel, I'm going to link all the things for you, don't you worry, but that is where this bus just has magically appeared from for me. Even though I am in the unknown here in Joshua Tree, I am very familiar with this bus because Mr. Modern Builds has done this bus over on his channel in depth, flipping it from a school bus to this. And now I'm going to take it over while he's gone and style it completely. So this is more of like a mellow decorate with me type of situation we got going on here. Everyone has their own process when it comes to decorating their space, so it is not my way or the highway, but what I like to do is get into this space completely empty and sit and sketch out a general plan that first hits my brain. After I get a general outline, that's kind of when I turn to Pinterest and I start to source those inspo images, but because the space was for Mike, it was really easy to reference his videos for this makeover to kind of see where his taste was heading. When Mike and I were discussing this makeover to just make sure we were in the same headspace, I kept complimenting him on his use of color. He let me know that this was his first time really going crazy with color, and that inspired me to do the same. The first thing that I physically did was move a full-size mattress into this to give it still some space and not be overwhelming. And also, my girls helped me get this bus back to squeaky clean. Shout out to T over there. I see you cleaning those windows. Thank you. After I moved the mattress into place, I realized there was a ton of space towards the front that I wanted to see how I can use in a new way that Mike did not. Got a game plan together, which got me very excited, but now I'm even more pumped to physically drive into the unknown of Joshua Tree's thrift shops with Volkswagen.
This is where the deed will be done of sourcing all the items. Again, I'm so excited. It's just like, all right, well, I have all this to fill out. Also, how just stunning. I can't even deal. Let's jump in and drive around together.
I can't even believe that I have the opportunity to partner up with VW like this and to be able to drive the 2020 VW Atlas Cross Sport around town, because let me tell you, it had me feeling some type of way. The car itself is genuinely beautiful on the exterior, but on the interior, it is just so sleek and unexpected in my opinion. I was not anticipating the red interior as a pop of color, and I fell in love. The first thing I noticed was the fine details, the fender speakers, the fact that the stitching was stunning. And then let's not even get me started on the sunroof, which clearly was one of my favorite things because you know me in the Joshua Tree sky, I have to see it at all times. I always tell my friends, do not threaten me with a good time, and that is exactly what VW did by giving me this 2020 VW Atlas Cross Sport with all this space. Man, did I ever fill it up. But of course, I think in everybody's design life that you are just missing a couple of items and you tend to have to make a second trip.
If this isn't the epitome of Joshua Tree, I want to grab a couple more things. The weather has changed, so has my outfit, but I want to run into town once more and pick up a couple of extra items that I didn't get but I saw. So we are gonna go back, cruise around town, fill this sucker up because it is big. So that means the more room Rachel adds to makeovers, because I have more room in the car to add to makeovers.
Even though I knew that the second trip was going to be shorter because I kind of had my eye on the prize on a couple of items, I wasn't nervous about walking in and falling in love with something on the larger side of things, or falling in love with, let's just say, 25 more items to incorporate into the bus, because I knew that the VW Atlas had me covered and was versatile for anything I was going to put inside of it. I am very excited that I did this second trip though, because it made me remember that I had storage at my house that included some decor items from Holly's house to incorporate now into Mike's house. It kind of just follows me, the stuff that I keep with me, until it finds its perfect place. I truly do think cars can be a reflection of people, and I love what this says about me when I'm driving it around, because not only is it stunning on the outside, but the interior is just so sexy in my opinion with that red. But what I love even more is how versatile it is, and you do not expect it. And the fact that it is so large on the inside is something you don't expect. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the journey that we're doing, with the personality that we have here on this channel. It's like, expect the unexpected, but that's also what drives me. But now it's time for the fun part, to actually implement the items that we got into the space and see how it works. Even though that this quote unquote is the headboard where that blue is, there really isn't like a moment to the back of the bedroom as an accent wall, even though that window is pretty with that view. I opted to add a tension rod and then hang different plants to add a pop of color, add some height, but also create a moment above the bed versus that pop of color of the quote unquote headboard being the moment of the bedroom. One of the main reasons, in my opinion, the only reason you come to Joshua Tree is for the view. I will be coming up with a window treatment plan later. I want to do these motorized ones when I get to the living room makeover of this bus. But for right now, I wanted to just style a couple of plants on either side where like those skinnier windows were, and leave that back larger window to be the focal point that you kind of look through and you have a moment of, oh my gosh, look how absolutely gorgeous it is. This was the first time I actually got to fully make over a space in Joshua Tree, and I have to say, implementing the smaller items that I picked up on my adventures with Volkswagen throughout town truly just brought like this new inspiration of creativity to me, because I don't really mess with this much color. So not only was this makeover special because it was like my first full makeover in Joshua Tree, but it was even more special because I didn't shop anywhere big box. I really shopped small and thrifted everything that you see here. Like this thrifted toolbox, which I don't even know if this thing could talk, what it would tell me what projects it did, but now it's one of my favorite pieces that I've gotten in Joshua Tree. This is not a typical bedroom, clearly. We are not going to be adding an accent chair. We don't have an opportunity to add shelving or anything to the ceiling and walls. So the bed itself kind of is the biggest moment to bring the personality in, if you will. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would want to see what the after look like that Mike did, which is this. And he has pink bedding and just minimal decor. So now let's head into what I'm doing. I thought the teal on teal would make me a little bit uncomfortable, but it didn't. It actually grounded the space, in my opinion, by having a deeper blue being the moment of the bed. And then as I layered on top of that, I'm starting to pull this yellow and this orange back here to bring balance to the bus. Because if you aren't familiar, Modern Builds' living room and kitchen is this crazy orange, and then I think that will be beautifully accented by yellows. So I'm trying to implement yellows back here early. I like making moments in rooms, and since we don't have a lot of space to work with here, what I wanted to do was separate it by color scheme. So what you will notice is I'm using that hot pink and that yellow up on the bed, but then where that seating area is, that is going to be that breath in that transition moment from the bedroom to the rest of the bus, I am using that neutral, that warm orange, and then popping color where there's that sage and that copper tray that I thrifted. You can pull in pops of color elsewhere. It doesn't always have to be in pillows and blankets and whatnot. I'm super pumped to say probably the only product I can link for you here, obviously besides the car, is the PF Candle Co. Golden Hour. That is now officially the scent of my house. Don't steal it, but also go and buy it. This whole thing is going to be a guest house. And how I look at it is, instead of having cute blanket storage everywhere, we don't have a lot of space for that. So I'm gonna throw all my blankets on here as my pop of color. I'm sure people will, you know, disperse of them as they will. But I'm honestly layering this up not to be like it's freezing in the desert, but it's more so like, here are all of your blankets and you can utilize them for the rest of the bus. Versus like a basket, because there's not a lot of space in here. You need to utilize it wisely. And I don't think blankets should be hidden in Joshua Tree because it gets a little chilly. 4 screws into dowels cut to the height. She did the rest that we're gonna plug in with a jigsaw. We have shown you before. And now we are painting a little bit of a laundry room color, hint, hint, if you haven't already seen it, onto the edges. But this golden light's just, God, this thing is so cute. Not so long ago, Mike DIY'd this sausage body coffee table, and I just fell in love with the shape of it. So when I saw the opportunity and something just popped in my head to create mini sausage body side tables, even though I was on a crunch for time to actually get this space together, thankfully Woodbrain was in town and saved the day and executed my design flawlessly, and I'm completely obsessed with it. If you guys want the full details on that DIY, I've just linked the quick materials down below for you. It's literally 4 dowels, 2 pieces of plywood, and some screws. Orange little moment on the side table, just thrown on the floor, didn't really know what to do. But these fit directly into the storage that he made, so it's not like it's gonna take up any space if he needs to take them down. Not only by adding these to the space are you giving a moment to raise the light and make it look a little bit more thoughtful, you're giving a space for your phone right next to your bed like a side table would. But the coolest part about these side tables is they are actually the dimensions of the inside of the storage that is hidden to the side of the bed. So if he didn't want those there, he can store them directly where he made that hidden storage. This is the first time a fellow creator has given me full creative freedom to just decorate because they've already DIY'd. It was really awesome of Mike to let me come into a project that clearly was such a huge part of his channel and his life and be able to detail it a little bit more to get it ready to have as a guest house, or for him to come back and have this as his like demo reno. This is where I'm staying as I'm tearing apart the actual house I'm supposed to be living in. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is my first full makeover, if you will, in Joshua Tree, and I have to say, using a new color palette that is really unknown to me and dabbling into it, I had a ton of fun. I don't necessarily know if I did it right, but my girlfriends were here for the weekend and they just loved it, so that kind of calmed me down since Mike is still out of town. He's basically like coming back to this makeover after he watches it on YouTube, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. It's nice to have live feedback. Listen guys, I know things have been a little bit iffy here on this channel, and that's because there's just a lot of life changes clearly going on behind the scenes. I do want to tell you guys I have purchased my own property, some land, a house, all the things over here in Joshua Tree, and I can't wait to share it with you. Until then, we're gonna work over here at Mike's just a little bit longer until my place is just right to move in and bring you on that journey of the unknown with me. No! Get off! Get down! Kelly, get down! I'm really excited to continue the bus with you, and that will be dropping shortly. I also want to thank you guys for your patience, and I just genuinely can't wait for the remainder of 2021.